Hey everybody, this is Everyman with Everyman's 40K channel. So today what we're going to do is we're going to do some cleanup on this Night Rampager. We're going to spray some black paint on all the metal bits. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get the legs, we're going to get the arm on his axe arm, we're going to shoot the tail because again we got the pincers on the tail, we're going to do the exhaust and a few other places throughout the model. And that's our intent today is basically to reset all the metal bits back to black. Okay, and we're going to do that by mixing up some black paint. So we're going to mix in some medium or heavy bodied paint, and then we're going to take some of our ink, right? We're going to add about 6 drops of ink. So basically it's just a solution of heavy bodied black acrylic, ink, about 6 drops of ink, and some hot water straight out of the tap. You mix all this together until you get a consistency of like, let's say milk, right? So not super thin, but again, not thick, right? Because you need it to run through your airbrush. So after loading up our paint cup, we're going to go ahead and we're just going to retouch up all the areas that are metal so that we can prepare for the next stage, which is rusting. So at this point, I'm just going to let the music roll. So enjoy as I spray these areas and then I'll come back. So at this stage, it takes me about a half an hour to complete this all. So I'm not going to make you guys watch me go over every little single spot. After we get done painting all the metal bits or metal locations black, we're going to let it dry for 24 hours and then we'll come back. Okay, so now after 24 hours, we let the black dry because we do not want to, reactivate it when we wash it with this next color we're going to go to. So what we do is we mix up basically another concoction that I do. It's just plain old water and some heavy bodied paint. It's this cadmium light red. Again, basically you're making a slurry or this mixture. You're making your own wash. So you want this to be a little bit thicker because you want it to actually kind of just not run off the model. So as we get into it, you can see it sticks pretty good because it is heavy bodied. And we actually want the coffee staining at this point. The coffee staining sort of turns the black kind of this rusty brown, or like to use a lack of a better term, right? You know how when you skin your knee and you have blood or whatever and it scabs over, okay? Well, as the blood dries, it turns into a much darker, brown. Well, it's the same thing. This cadmium light red, when it comes in contact with this black, as it dries, it kind of turns this rusty kind of brownish color. You guys will see. So right now, again, we're going to let the music roll. You don't have to watch me do this all the way through because it takes another 20-30 minutes just to do this to get everything right. So yeah, cue the music. So this is done. Basically, I'm just kind of doing a little bit of final touch up here. What we're going to do is we're going to put this on its base. And then as we get it on its base, we want it to dry with the tendency of the wash to run downwards or to kind of pull down. So I'm getting ready right here. We're going to set it up on the base. And then once we set it up on the base, we're going to let it dry this portion again another 24 hours or overnight because we do not want to touch it. And after we come back, we'll go ahead and actually dry brush silver, okay? So let me go ahead, wrap this up, and then on the next portion, we'll start actually getting a little bit of color out and we'll paint. Okay, see you in a little bit. Okay, so now that we're done and this has dried thoroughly through another dry cycle, as you can see, it's all kind of rusted and the orange and the brown or the black have kind of made a rusty brownish orange color. And again, it'll change a little bit more even as we dry brush it silver. So again, typically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this bronze or this any type of brass, and basically we use this to dirty up the silver. So it just kind of, because we're working with chaos, it dirties up the silver. Our silver here is a P3. It's a cold steel, but you can use anything that would work well for what do you call it, chainmail or any kind of basic silver. At this point, it really doesn't matter because we're going to come back in and we're going to do some black lining. Here is the brush I use. It is a Walmart special. And then this one is just another hack brush that I use to get it kind of into deep, thin kind of cracks, nooks and crannies. I don't want to leave anything out. So yeah, at this point, it's a pretty standard process. Again, all dry brushing processes, you need some type of paper towel or a little plastic tool to get rid of the excess paint on your brush, as I'm doing here. And so that's pretty basic. Everybody should know kind of how to dry brush. This is one of the more simpler processes that kind of helps you get highlights and some details on just basic models. So you don't have to sit here and I don't have to explain everything to you. I'm going to let the music roll again. Okay, so enjoy. Okay, so we're done rusting, or at least applying the rust effect and turning the legs and stuff into steel, the metal bits. So from here, what we're going to do is we'll detail this out. I mean, no way is this close to being done. So once we start black lining and adding some depth and color and more detail, much better. It'll look way different than what it looks now. As you can see on the claw, you can see the little bits, the little dents. Again, just a little touch-up work here and there is left over, but pretty much done. So for our next process after this one, so we have one more that's going to complete this video, and we're going to go back to the dry brush, and I want to again do the chest and the face plate and his face and the tail. Okay, we're going to change up the colors a little bit, as well as we're going to clean up again some more of the black. And from all the dry brushing that we've done, there's silver all over the place. So again, we're going to work on this. We're going to get some of this stuff cleaned up, and yeah, I'll be back. So let's hit pause, and we'll get the airbrush out and start the final section of this video, basically, which is all the undercoating. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, we are back, and we are going to get the airbrush out again. We are going to airbrush the tail section and the chest because we want to change the color. So we're going to go today with an ivory white and a warm gray. So the ivory white we're going to use because it is an off-white, and the warm gray we're going to use it because it has a hint of brown in it already. So again, if you're going to mix up your colors and you want to duplicate what I'm doing, just make sure that when you're mixing up your gray, you just take a little bit of brown, any type of brown, just to kind of camouflage it up. Anytime you take a green or like a gray and you start adding greens and grays together and you throw in a little brown, that's how you're going to get a camo color or a khaki. So we're going to mix this in the cup. Okay, so here in a little bit, you're going to see me just drip the materials or the paints right into the cup, and I'm going to put my hand over the nozzle and we're going to mix them in the cup. Now, why we're doing this is because we have to clean up all the dry brushing and all the silver and stuff that we've done. If you look here under the shoulder pad, you'll notice that it's like filthy black. It's got all kinds of silver all over it. Well, pretty much the whole model is like that. Another reason why we're going back to the airbrush is we want a silky smooth transition, right? We want a faded transition, and I didn't want to do this with a brush. I didn't want to have to stipple or blend. The easiest way to do what we're getting ready to do is obviously an airbrush, right? The area is so big, so large, and it's just, we want buttery smooth blends or transitions, let's say, from the scales to the center section of the tail. Again, we're going back to the animal community or the lizard reptile community. This is a demon or a reptile. So we're going to pull out a little bit of some fancy coloring, and when we wash it, just trust me, you're going to love it. Okay, so here we are, pre-mixing or mixing in the cup. I got a little bit of air trouble, got to crank the air up. When you're pre-mixing in the cup, you just need the air to kind of bubble up, not violently, but just at least enough. So there, see it mixing? You can see inside the cup, you get the bubbles flowing, and then that's where you get the water and all the mix going. Okay, so we're getting ready to spray. I'm going to go ahead, let the music roll. And when we're done with this gray, right, this kind of light, warmish gray, we'll come back. All right, here he is, complete. Well, not complete, but you understand, right? This last little transition of airbrushing is complete. So, okay, anyway, I love it. I mean, this is going to look good, good, good. So we're going to set this down, and as usual, we are going to let this baby dry. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to get out some khaki color, right? And we're going to go ahead and fix the scales, okay? So the next thing is khaki, and after that, we're done. We're going to close this baby out. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, back again, and there's my khaki, right? Just again, pro acryl or pro acryl, whatever you want to call the brand. I haven't tried this before, so this is the first time or my first experience with this brand. So far, I like it. Super flat once it dries, and really good coverage. So again, just something new for me. Again, same thing, mixing in the cup. Same old thing. Got to put my finger over the nozzle, shoot some air in there. You'll see it bubble, basically mixing the water, thinning out my paint. And then this particular khaki color, you're going to notice it is not the same as the color as the primer. Obviously, this has more yellow, but I'm going to go with it because it's sort of what we're going to call the tortoise shell look. So here we go. We're going to start spraying, and this is actually the cleanup portion. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm cleaning up the old kind of black, and because the brown or the khaki from the primer is actually the color we want. We don't care that this khaki and the other one coming out of the can are different colors. Okay, so going back to the tortoiseshell idea, we want a mottled kind of look, spotted look, because once we go ahead and wash over it, it'll all come together. You'll see, trust me. So here we go. I'm just testing out the paint. I'm probably not happy with the thinness or the viscosity, so I'm just testing it out. Okay, so we're gonna let the music roll again. You get the point. You can see me cleaning things up. It's all it is. It's just prep work. This is what we would call the foundational stage. Okay, I'm just laying down a ton of foundational work before we get into bristle brushes. Okay, all right, let the music roll. Okay, so here you go. See the discoloration or the difference in color? We actually want that. I mean, I'm pretty happy with that. So this is really going to be really good. I want that discoloration under there, so when we wash, we get some lighting play, a little bit of dark, a little bit of light. So it's kind of cool. Okay, so back to the music. Okay, we're going to wrap this up. So we're going to let this dry overnight. Again, another 24-hour cycle. I just refuse to rush through these things. I need this stuff to be dry, because once we hit it with the washes, if this paint was to reactivate, yeah, basically a disaster. You just turn everything into mud. So you got to make sure that your acrylics have enough time to dry and will not reactivate. So you can get the hair dryer out and you can accelerate it, but I filmed this rather late at night. I mean, it's probably 1 a.m., so I'm ready to hit the rack. Okay, everybody, so this is going to wrap this up. I appreciate you hanging in here with me. Anybody who watched this whole thing all the way through, again, I appreciate it. Please leave your comments in the comment section. This is my first painting video, so again, tell me how I can improve. So if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, smash that notification bell, and hit that like button, because likes changes the algorithm. If you have a whole bunch of friends, please let them know on your social media channels that I'm out here and that I'm finally starting to paint. And like we always say on every channel and every episode, may all your dice rolls come up 6s unless you're looking for a 1. Peace out, everybody.